understand love then. The first man they met, the first woman they met, they ended up marrying them. Our own generation who understand love, we know the mechanics behind love. We will date 7 people, 10 people before we finally manage to settle with one, and there will still continue to be trouble. We have seen changes. Families honored each other a long time ago. Today, families disregard each other. It was a taboo there for a child to talk to his parents anyhow. But today, we hear the world tell the parent that you deserve it. Because as you have raised the child, now you are eating the fruit thereof. In those days, it didn't matter whether you were properly raised or not. The whole village will gather and beat you. There was love in the community. There was love in the family. Those days, siblings sponsoring siblings' children to school because they feel that these children are also my children, whether I gave birth to them or not. But today, it's not different. There was love flowing. And whether we understood it or not, it was coming out of us. There was this liberty that existed. Nothing is the same anymore. The only person that has remained the same is God. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. The Bible said, He is the God that changeth not. You cannot say that about people. Hebrews 13 verse 8 says, Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. The only factor that has not changed in this life is God. Every other thing has changed. It's affecting us negatively. Safety is no longer safe, even among families. One of my friends told me that when he's traveling, even his blood do not know when he leaves or where he's going until he arrives. Because you are not sure of anyone anymore. I've heard of blood orchestrating the kidnap of blood because of money. Sons planning the kidnap of their parents so that their parents can release money. Wives and husbands orchestrating the kidnap of each other. Neighbors planning the destruction, the robbery of their neighbors. People planning the downfall of others. And so in a world like this, it is difficult to express love genuinely. Because you feel that no one deserves what you have to offer. But the Bible said that there's a kind of life we have been called to live. It's a life of love. It's a life of love. Where we read, give me verse 3 of 13 of where we read initially. Galatians 5 verse 13. Let me have the New Living Translation, please. He said, for you have been called to live in freedom. Love offers you the opportunity to live a free life. A life outside fear. You kept hearing this boy say, I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid. Nobody to help me. He said we should not use our freedom to satisfy our own sinful nature. Instead, we should use our freedom to serve one another. How? In love. So love is a service. at the center of outpouring is love. This is why love is the center of families. Love is the center of organizations. Love is the center of governance. Love is the center of humanity. And regardless of what is changing in life, love should not change. You know why? Because love came from God. And I'm going to show us. The love that exists in life is backed by the law of God. It's backed by the commandment of God. Love is not self-existing. Love exists under the law. You know, in Matthew chapter 22, when we are talking to Jesus about the greatest of all the commandments, if you read from verse 35, but let's look at it from verse 37. If you read from verse 37 to verse 40, you know, Jesus told them, he said it's very simple. He said, you must love the Lord your God first with all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your mind. All of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your mind. And then he said, this is the first and the greatest commandment. Love for God. And then he said, the second one is like unto the first. Say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Verse 40, he said, upon these two, the entire law, and all the demands of the prophet are based on these two commandments. Love. The command to love. Love is not self-existing. Love exists under the confines of the law, under the confines of God's commandment. You cannot love anyhow. There are rules that govern the release of love. And so when you don't follow these rules, you love wrongly. The only reason why God can ask us to love is because we ourselves, we are creatures of love. We were born out of love. We came from love. We are a shoot out or an offshoot of love. In Romans chapter 5 and verse 5, Romans chapter 5 and verse 5, the Bible said, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our heart. How? By the Holy Ghost which is given unto us. The love of God is shed abroad in our heart. Then verse 8 went further. Verse 8 went further and said that God commended his love towards us, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. What saved you as salvation is the love of God. It means it's the love of God that bettered you spiritually. So you were born out of love. You are born out of love. You're a creature of love. In 1 John chapter 4, verse 7 and verse 8, the Bible says, beloved, let us love one another. Now here, for love is of God, and everyone that loves is born of God, and what? Knoweth God. He said, he that loveth not, knoweth not God. Why? Because God is love. If God is love, and man was created in the image of God, the man is love. Tell me, I am love. Your component is a component out of love. Your composition came from love. Everything about you is about love. And the original plan of God is for mankind to release love. This is where genuine, sincere expression came from. Any expression of love that is not from God is not properly expressed. It's not sincere. And so the world is not the ones that started love. Love is not a worldly concept. Please understand. Love is a godly concept. God is the originator of love, not the world. And so it amazes me how that we are the ones that are supposed to teach and show people love. Instead, we are copying love from the world. There is no one that can teach or show you how to love better than the originator of love himself. The manufacturer of any product is in the best position to explain that product to you. If God is love, He's the originator of love. Love came from Him. He's an expression of love. That means God is the only person that has the power to rightly describe love and explain how love should work. Any other one is not correct. Are we together this morning? So you need to study God. How does God show love? How does God express love? How is love expressed? Who deserves love? Now, from where we read in Matthew 22, verse 37 to verse 40, you will see that there are three dimensions to love. Three dimensions to love. Number one is the love for God. That's the first dimension. Love for God. Number two is the love for others. Love for others. And number three is the love for self. And the Bible said, upon this tree lies the law and the prophets. Love for God, love for others, and love for self. You shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your might. And the second one, like the first, you shall love your neighbor, that's others, as yourself. So, true love is when you show love to God, show love to people, regardless of who they are, and show love to your own self. Because people don't know how to love themselves. If you know how to, if you love yourself, you will not hurt yourself. Some of the things people are taking in this life is against the law of self-love. So people are killing themselves. All manner of nonsense you are taking, you are killing yourself. It's a sin against yourself. So, three dimensions of love. You must show love to your God because you came from Him. You must show love from other people because they are part of your life. And you must show love to yourself, or else you are only existing. Self-love is what attracts other love. And that's the truth. Please understand that love is not a concept by the world. The first experience of love by the world was from God. For God so loved the world. The world has never known love until God showed it to them. Until God showed it to them. God demonstrated His love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, while we were yet in the world, Christ died for us. I'm not going to dwell on love for God. This is not why I'm dwelling today. I'm going to dwell on love others. Now, when it comes to loving people, showing love and expressing love towards people, there are two major forms of love expressions among people. The first one is love for people. Please understand. Love for people. And that's a mutual love. That's statutory love. In studies, they call it filial love. Okay, so it's the love that exists among families, father to children, mother to children, children to parents, children to children. The love that exists among friends. Among companions, it's a mutual love. It's just a statutory love. It's a friendship love. It's a family love. That's the love that exists for people. I just love you. That love is strictly mutual. This is why a brother cannot marry a sister. I mean, a blood brother cannot marry a blood sister. Sometimes people become too close as friends. They can't even think of dating each other. When the guy mistakenly or the girl mistakenly say, we are friends now. I can't see myself doing this. That's that kind of love. But that's the love for people. But there's a second kind of love, which is the love among people. It's the love among people. All right? Now, that's a deeper dimension of love. It's an engaged love. And then the world called it eros love. All right? Now, that's the love that exists between lovers. It's the love that leads to marriage. It's the love that sparks relationships. It's the love that drives a love life. But whether mutual or deeper, there is a principle that controls or governs the release of love. It's just that they are released in two different dimensions, but there is a principle. And the reason why I said everything in the world is changing, but God does not change. The reason why God does not change, and God is love, if God does not change, then love does not change. The principle of love has never changed. It is the practice of love that has changed. And what many people are practicing today is not love. Because the principle of love has not changed. It has not changed. So you see that even though we are created to love, a lot of people do not deserve anything good that we have to offer, including our love, because of who they are and what they have done to us. Some people have turned others to monsters. A good man became something else. A good woman became something else because she or he has been pushed to the world, to the wall. I mean. So I understand the pain that goes through people's minds. Pastor, you don't understand this thing you're talking about, love. Look, I tell you something. The only reason why what we are experiencing does not look like love is because we have contaminated it with our actions. We have broken the bond of trust. We have grieved people. When God sent Adam and Eve out of the garden, was it a loss of love? No, it was a loss of trust. So when you see people parting ways, it's not because there was no love. It's because trust has been breached. I cannot fall in love with you, David. Okay, you're a guy. I'm not supposed to fall in love with a guy. Sit down. I know you are married. He's Boro Mayowa. Stand up. I cannot fall in love with this woman. And then we dated for 3 years. Everybody knew us together. And then woke up one morning and break up. When we break up, it is not love that has been broken. Something has been broken that's affecting the love. You see, that trust has been broken. Protection has been broken. Agreement has been broken. Something has been broken that is affecting love. So when people tell you that, you're asking, how are you? How's your fiancé? Say, we broke up. It is not love that was broken. Because love can't be broken. You can't break love. You can't break love. People that marry and eventually get divorced. Why? What went wrong? It's not love that went wrong. Because when they were married on their wedding day, it was sincere from their hearts. When they were exchanging those vows, it came from their heart. They were happy. They did reception. Went for honeymoon. What went wrong? It's not love. So I know that things are happening in life that makes people not to be deserving of your love. But however, God still speaks to us. In Romans chapter 13, verse 8 to verse 10, and I saw this scripture for the first time in 2005. It humbled me. He said, "Oh, no one anything but to love one another. For he that loveth one another has fulfilled the law." Give me NLT or message. Any of them, NLT or message. See. It says, "Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love." There is only one thing that God permits us to owe, is love. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirement of God's law, which is the law of love. Every commandment is solved when love is involved. Because when you love, you will not cheat. When you love, you will not lie. When you love, you will not fornicate. When you love, you will not commit adultery. When you love, you will not give a false witness. When you love, you cannot kill someone you love. Everything about the commandment of God is tied to love. Verse 9. Oh, I love, see the message. He said, "Don't run up debts except for the huge debt of love." That you owe others. When you love others, you complete what the law has been after all along. Hear me. We are debtors of love. And we are bound by the love of God to love people. Do you hear me? We are debtors of love and we are bound by the law of God to love people. Love is not a suggestion. It's a commandment. It's part of your nature. Hear me. Eating is not a suggestion. Sleeping is not a suggestion. Breathing is not a suggestion. Do you have a choice to breathe? Say, "No, I don't feel like breathing for the next 1 hour. I just don't want to breathe. I don't want to have anything to do with air. It's my life. So I want to stay breathless for 30 minutes. Just stay breathless. Just as there are a part of your life that have become your nature, that they are not suggestions, they are obligations. So also loving as a human is not a suggestion, it's an obligation. You know why? Because it's your nature to love. And God has shown us how to love. I know. It's difficult to love in this world. I know. How do you express sincere love in an insincere world? The person you are pouring out your heart to from your heart is planning, is turning you. He's telling his friends, don't mind that. The way she's loving me, she thinks I'm going to marry her. That's the person you are fighting your father and mother for. That no, he's telling his friends, hey, see there. Now pretend that they pretend without. How do you love sincerely in an insincere world? Somebody is telling you now with his mouth, I love you. He's texting to another woman, I love you, my dear. How do you love sincerely? How do you love genuinely? How do you give everything? Because when you give love, you give your all. Because love is tied to your heart. When you give love, you give your heart. So when you hear people say, he broke my heart, it is not the heart he broke love. The trust in love has been broken. It's tied to your heart. This is why the pain of love is as hurtful as any kind of pain. People don't commit suicide when they lose job. When they fail exam, they don't commit suicide. But people can commit suicide for love. Somebody walked away. I gave my whole life. My every risked traveling on the road to go and visit you. Gave money to you. And then you wake up one morning and say, I'm not doing again. Give birth to children for you. 2 children, 3 children. And then you wake up one morning and tell me you're not doing again. Watch over you, kept you, turn your life around, make you to shine as a woman. Then you wake up one morning and say, I'm not doing again. How do you show love to those kind of people? This is the world we live in. How do you show true love in a world that is full of lies and deceit? You hear people say, my love for you will never change. My love for you will never die. Oh, I've heard that a lot and a lot. But how do you deal with people whose love keeps changing like clothes? Every day they are sorry for not showing love. You cut them today, they are sorry. Tomorrow you cut them again, they are sorry. Yet my love for you will never change. But I'm still cheating on you. My love for you will never change. I'm still beating you up and down. First Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. Give me the NIV version. So I like to read King James version, I read NIV, but I just know. The goal of this command is what? Love. Which comes how? From a pure heart, a good conscience, and sincere faith. With all I have said, it takes pure heart, good conscience, and sincere faith in people to sincerely express love to them. Regardless. You know, Jesus said in that Matthew chapter 22, He said, you shall love with all of your hearts, all of your hearts, all of your soul, and all of your might. So it's not just loving. There is a way love is being expressed. The sincerity of love has an expression. It has to come from your heart, from your soul, and from your mind. And as it's coming from your heart, from your soul, and from your mind, it has to be expressed purely from that heart. Because pure heart is from the heart. Good conscience is from the soul. So somebody's wondering, Pastor, with all you have said, how do I express sincere love in this kind of world? To people that are not deserving of my love, how do I do it? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So if you want to express genuine love, or you want to know the genuineness of people's love towards you or others, this is the acid test. Whether you want to know, am I expressing genuine love, or is the expression of people's love towards me, is it genuine? There's a simple acid test for it. And this is what the Bible gave us. Where we read in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. And number one, it has to be from your heart or from their hearts. Not from the eyes or from the body. He said, when I saw his eyes looking at me, I knew he loves me. Forget it. You can't see love from the eyes. You know, when we are growing up, they are clean, they are clean, they are kashaman ido kawai sai jikin ya quick. Ya zama ruwa. Deceiving yourself. So winking is not love. Am I talking to somebody right now? So if you are a woman and they are loving you with the eye, they are not loving you. They are testing your maturity. The Bible says it must come from a pure heart. The goal of the command is that it must come from a pure heart. That's number one. In expressing love, it has to come from a heart. Not just a heart, but a pure heart. Pure. Unadulterated heart. You are not calculating and permutating how to slice the lady in your heart. Everything you are doing to her, everything you are giving to her is targeted towards getting her. You know, so as he's buying the gift, he's working on your mind towards his evil intention. Taking you out, sending the recharge card, texting you, chatting with you all night, is conditioning your heart for the blow that is about to come. He loves me. So he now invites you over. And because he has already conditioned your heart, you came. And then he raped you. And then he disvirgined you. And then you became automatically an enemy. Come on, be going. Come on, be going. But sincere love comes from a pure heart. That when a man sees a woman and is falling in love for her, he's thinking of, how can I take this woman in to be a partner for life, so I can help make her life better, so she can complement me and we can grow together. Oh, I want to grow old with this woman. That's from a pure heart. So when I see 17-year-olds saying they're in love, I begin to wonder, what's happening? Do they know love? Do they know love? What are you offering? You've not finished reading your books and passing exams. Your mother is still teaching you how to wash plates, how to hold broom and sweep well, but you are falling in love. You are still begging your friends to help you with transport money, but you are still chasing a woman. You are still squatting with somebody, and the food that you are eating, you are not the one providing it. You want to fall in love. It's not from a pure heart, because you know that you can't take care of this person. What are you doing to yourself? Number 2, we must come from a clean conscience. The Bible talks about a good conscience, clean conscience, unadulterated conscience. A conscience with no ulterior motive. No ulterior motive. With an open conscience towards this person. You love, see, sincere love comes from the innocence of your person. You are not thinking of, okay, some people, it's, her papa get money. If I date her, at least some things will happen. Wedding reception has been taken care of. Then go pay house rent for us. Then if you even give us car as wedding gift. So because of that, you are firing on 2 cylinders. In fact, 6 cylinders. Oh baby, there's no one like you. It's not from a good conscience. You are wicked. Many ladies have been seeing the guy. He tried to talk to the ladies. They shun him. Then suddenly he got a job with NNPC. Wow, they try to talk to you, see, not talk to us. You talking to me? You're following money. This is why when a guy that treks comes and a guy that drives come, you choose the guy that drives and not the guy that treks. Without consulting your heart, without checking them to be sure. It's not a good conscience. And we have a lot of people who are falling into traps today. We have people who have made mistakes because the guy has a bike coming to see you. You despise him, look down on him, insulted him, not knowing that that bike is only a process. He's living in the compound house. And then you come there. You can't even go to wee because the toilet there is a pit latrine and 26 people are using the same toilet. And you tell them, I'm not coming to your house again, no. Because I know if you wee. Well, if you want me to come in your house, go and get BQ somewhere. Good conscience. We size people by educational background and qualification. I know people that did not go to school, married to educated ladies with masters and PhD, doing very well. See, education does not make you a good person. Conscience does not respect education. In fact, the education can make him plot your evil better because he's not educated. I've seen women that marry these men and encourage these men to go to school, helping them to do assignment, doing for exam together with the man. What are you looking for? Number 3, it must come with faith. The Bible said a sincere faith. It must come with faith in the person that is loving or the person that is being loved. It is faith in people that makes us stay with people. I wasn't like this when my wife married me. I wasn't like this. It was faith. How many of us are married here? Or once married here, let me see your hand.